5 talking points from Man City's thrilling comeback victory over Spurs as they narrow the gap on Arsenal. Manchester City 4-2 Tottenham. Pep Guardiola's team came back from a 2-0 deficit to defeat Tottenham in a much-needed victory. Manchester City defeated Tottenham 4-2 in a gutsy victory to cut the difference between themselves and Premier League leaders Arsenal to 5 points. Although Pep Guardiola's team dominated for significant stretches of the first half, Spurs eventually seized the lead after Ederson made a costly error that allowed Dejan Kulusevski to calmly score from 12 yards. Soon after Harry Kane's attempt was saved, Emerson Royal headed in from close range to give Tottenham a 2-goal lead. Pressing the subscribe, like, and/or comment buttons and sharing with your closest friends will help support this channel. Many thanks. It was a rude awakening for City, who must have received a sharp talking to from Guardiola at halftime since they emerged looking completely different and pulled off an amazing 12-minute turnaround. Riyad Mahrez, Erling Haaland, and Julian Alvarez all scored goals for City as they quickly shell-shocked Spurs. Tottenham had opportunities to tie the game and came close with Heung-min, but his shot deflected off the post. But with a few minutes left, Mahrez sprinted through on goal and clipped the ball over a helpless Hugo Lloris to give City the victory. 5 discussion points from the Etihad Stadium are included here. City narrows the distance with Arsenal. When Spurs scored their second goal at the Etihad Stadium, many Arsenal supporters would have been rubbing their hands together since it appeared that City would lose further ground. Kulusevski and Emerson's goals put Conte's team in a dream state, but they slumped after the break, something that Tottenham have done before. The game was turned on its head by 3 goals from City in the span of 12 minutes, and Mahrez added his second of the game to give Guardiola's team a crucial 3 points. Although City can close the margin to 2 points when they play before Arsenal on Sunday, it is a victory that might shift the momentum at the top of the Premier League standings. Tuesday's games feature City hosting Wolves at 2 p.m., followed by Arsenal hosting Manchester United in what appears to be a mouth-watering matchup between 2 hot clubs. With just 5 points separating the 2 teams and Guardiola's team having played 1 more game than the Gunners, the title race could be exciting. Haaland scored once again. Prior to the encounter against Spurs, the Norwegian was experiencing something of a goal drought after going scoreless in his previous 3 games. After struggling in the first half, Haaland's bad run of play appeared to be going to continue, despite missing a guilt-inducing opportunity to score with a close-range header. It was only a matter of time before Haaland found the back of the goal, though, as City roared to an early lead in the second period. It followed a fluid City move that culminated with Haaland converting Mahrez's cross. Ederson's error. Ederson always has a chance to make a mistake, despite how brilliantly he has performed for City over the past 6 years. Additionally, the Brazilian made another clanging error that allowed Tottenham to score first versus City. Ederson, who was largely a spectator in the first half, made a key error right before halftime that gave Spurs the advantage. His pass to Rodri was a little errant, and the midfielder ultimately turned the ball over. The main winner from Ederson's error was Kulusevski, who calmly placed the ball into the bottom corner after receiving it from the interception. The goal was the Swedes' second in the Premier League this year. Dropped was De Bruyne. Before the game, Guardiola turned some heads by deciding to bench midfielder Kevin De Bruyne, who had failed to score or provide an assist in any of his previous 6 Premier League games. There were some rumors claiming that De Bruyne had been selected on the bench due to a knock after skipping Tuesday's practice. In his pre-game interview, Guardiola did, however, imply that De Bruyne's exclusion might have been tactical in nature. When questioned if the midfielder was healthy and fit, the City manager avoided directly responding and said, "Kevin can certainly play. Since I've been playing with him for 7 years, we've played against opponents with good forms and bad forms, and I'd say he's been the most frequently used player. However, today, based on recent play or the opponent, I made a different choice." Micah Richards and Jamie Carragher both argued that De Bruyne should be substituted in immediately with City behind 2-0 at the break, but Guardiola stayed with his starting lineup, and it paid off. Alvarez, who was manning De Bruyne's normal number 10 position, opened the scoring and later contributed to the victory. Richarlison and Carragher put their differences behind them. After the Sky Sports analyst decided to warm up with the Tottenham forward ahead of their matchup against Manchester City, Jamie Carragher seemed to have put a stop to their feud. Since Carragher accused Richarlison of play acting in Everton's 2-0 loss to Liverpool in April of last year, the two have engaged in numerous altercations. Nevertheless, they appeared to mend fences when Richarlison warmed up at the Etihad Stadium. The 25-year-old made the decision to transfer the ball to Carragher, a Sky Sports employee, before the two exchanged a few passes. After a brief chat in which Richarlison apologized, the exchange came to a close with Carragher approaching him and shaking his hand. Carragher remarked, "He apologized, and I accepted it since we are all friends. Are you going to behave well today? Is there any fighting, or anything else?" I asked. He responded, "No, only football today." He apologized, and I accepted it since we are all friends. Are you going to behave well today? Is there any fighting, or anything else? I asked. He responded,